Hello and welcome to GCRN Wars. This is the quarterfinals round of the tournament. Joining me in this episode is Movie Revolt Dan.
Hey.
Hello, and Alex from This Week in Geek.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Yes, so we have more than one and more than two this week, so sorry for the delay last week. Schedules didn't line up, and it actually worked out because now we have a third chair to converse on the villains. So I should probably go through who won out of the second side of the bracket, since we didn't get to really go over there, even though everybody probably knows by now. But it'll just be fun to kind of go through and have a breakdown of how it kind of fell from the round two battles. So on the one side we had sorry, my computer's taking forever. Professor Moriarty versus the Mandarin. The Mandarin won. We had that was 18-7. We had Dark Phoenix against High Evolutionary. Dark Phoenix took it away with 27 votes to 0. We had Negaduck versus Dark Cat. Dark Cat took it away at 18 votes. Skullmaster versus Jafar. Skullmaster took it away at 19 votes. And Apocalypse versus Bloth. Somehow Bloth got 1 vote in against Apocalypse's 25. I don't understand that. There's no universe where Apocalypse would not win. The next, on the other side of the bracket, we had Inque versus King Koopa. Inque took it away at 17. Cobra Commander and Dr. Doom were probably the closest fight on any of the battles. And Dr. Doom lost actually by 1 point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Disappointing.
I was like, that's why when I sent the original art, I was assuming Dr. Doom was winning. And Cobra Commander snuck in with 1 extra vote. So I guess we'll see how he squeaks by in this next battle, if he does at all. Then we had the Joker against Captain Pollution, who took it away at 25 votes. And Lex Luthor fought Megatron, and Megatron took it away at 18 votes. And Cell took it at 22 votes against Dr. Robotnik. Any surprises in this round?
I mean, you already mentioned it, but like Dr. Doom losing to Cobra Commander to me is just wrong on every level. I mean, come on now. Other than that, no, I think it all kind of makes sense. I mean, I guess Lex Luthor, Megatron. I think when we did that, I went the other way, but I'm not surprised the vote went with Megatron. But Doom, really, I thought he would make it all the way to the finals. So
I thought so too, but at least we do have some Marvel representation here. It's just on the wrong side of the bracket. So we'll have to see how this all pans out. I wasn't really surprised that the Joker took out Captain Pollution. I was surprised that it was a blowout. So there is that. So this round, this is the first time we've ever done something like this, but it's a free-for-all of a 5-person battle. And it's between the Mandarin, Dark Phoenix, Dark Cat, Skullmaster, and Apocalypse. All big bads, all dark, and some of them have magical powers. Actually, most of them have that. So who wants to go first?
So going with Mandarin and Dark Phoenix.
Are those the two that you're pining for, or are you just saying
Because this is a free
no,
for
I
all,
think.
right?
Yeah,
So-
looking. Yeah, so I mean, Dark Phoenix is kind of. Yeah, I mean, power level was probably unsurpassed by anyone on here. Uh, we questionably Cell on the other side of the bracket, but I think if any, she's been to me like the person to win it since the beginning. And I still feel that way.
Okay. Yeah.
From this side, it would be with her. The issue is the unpredictability. She could just decide she doesn't want to fight or thinks it's insignificant and leave.
Which could be interesting.
Yeah. I would probably go with Apocalypse. At least as the forerunner. Just based on what's there. Because looking at the bracket, 3 people move on to the next round?
Yep.
Is that what happens?
Yep.
Then I would go probably Phoenix, Apocalypse, the Mandarin?
Okay.
Partially because I don't think I know the other 2.
Okay, well, Dark Cat, just to kind of to re-preface some of the characters, Dark Cat, he's basically just a glorified heavyweight gangster that's intelligent, but for the most part makes people do his dirty work for him. Skullmaster is from Mighty Max. He's from his powers are. He's voiced by Tim Curry. His powers are he controls this soul stone, and he wants to kind of control time as well, which is why he's such a big bad in the series. But he does have power over summoning different villains, of just kind of teleportation, of he's got all these mystical dark magic powers, so he's kind of a force to be reckoned with too. But I don't know how he would fare against. See, him and the Mandarin could possibly go toe to toe, but I don't know the extent of the Mandarin's powers. Whereas,
yeah, that's the thing I was going to say. I don't think he stacks up to. Well, he doesn't to Dark Phoenix.
No.
And not Apocalypse either.
And Dark Cat, I think, is going to be the automatic lose in this round.
Yeah.
Just because he has no power to go up against any of these other 4.
Yeah, I mean, the Mandarin's rings are, I believe, if you going off the cartoon, where it, alien technology, and you're looking at someone like Apocalypse, that's the same thing with his armor, but celestial, which is like his pretty intense alien technology as you can get. So I agree with Darkhawk. I mean, he looks cool as a villain, but he's kind of, I think he's a little bit out of his league with some of these other characters.
So we can all pretty much agree that it's going to be the Marvel villains that kind of push on to the semifinals then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of who I have in mind for the moving on to the next round. It's when it gets to the finale of the team battles, because it'll be a 2-on-2 of both sides of the bracket. So it's figuring out who's going to get tanked in the next round to go on. So, but yeah, I definitely see Dark Cat going out, and I think it's going to be kind of a toss up between either familiarity or the power levels of Mandarin and Skullmaster. I pretty much think that Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse will move on, if not to only the semifinals, to the finale as well. So, do we want to move on to the other side of the bracket, which is a bit more questionable and a bit more diverse in that we don't have a clue who may take away certain aspects?
Yeah, because I think what you'll see too with this side, I think the left side certainly has the power end, but I think the right side has a lot of the popularity when you look at some of these characters. Like, yeah, the Joker, putting Joker against Phoenix, that's an easy win for Phoenix. But as we know, when it comes to anything of this nature, popularity helps you a great deal. And Joker is unpredictable. So, and I mean, obviously on this side we have someone like Cell, who is like immensely powerful just because any character in that universe of Dragon Ball Z, I mean, they could, who knows, could match that of the Phoenix. But his craziness, you wonder how that works when you're going against additionally crazy people like a Megatron or something like that. Does it have the same impact as it does on a Batman? That's where maybe he would not be as formidable as some of these others.
Even if you're going by power, I would almost think Megatron's out because he's a construct. He doesn't have some sort of celestial power or you know what I mean? Like he's just technically he's a robot, right? There's not anything that makes him remarkable, and he doesn't have like magic. He doesn't have that sort of thing.
But in the same token, then you could almost argue that anyone but Cell on this side wouldn't win, because even Cell is an android.
Yeah. But if we're going popularity-wise, you'd almost have to go, only 3 get to move forward. You'd almost have to go Joker, then Megatron, then it's a toss-up probably between Cobra Commander and Cell.
See, this is one that's kind of tricky for me. Because Inque does have the almost Clayface ability of being able to reshape and to kind of infiltrate things. However, she could be destroyed in any number of ways from the opposite side. But kind of going about it, Megatron has the intelligence to get past that. The Joker is probably the only crazy person enough to come up with some kind of a chemical concoction to take her out. This version of Cobra Commander, it's kind of hit or miss. Like, if it was the 80s Cobra Commander, it's a little bit different. But, I mean, it's a continuation of the same character. However...
Oh, see, I forgot 90s.
This is the 90s Cobra Commander.
Okay, yeah, then he's out.
Where his biggest thing was joining forces against pollution and having a rock band to take over the world. So... So, I almost see him as being the first one out just on that alone, because he was never right after he became a man again, despite my like for the armor. And I almost think that it's going to be between... You have this crazy intelligence of Megatron. You have the sheer power and energy of Cell. And then you have the chaos and intelligence and insanity of the Joker, and then you kind of have like the best of all of it kind of playing against each other. And the only reason I think that the Joker, not only popularity, but he almost took out part of the Justice League in Justice League Unlimited. He almost took out Superman in the Batman Superman movie, animated. And Batman was the only reason it didn't happen was because he got the kryptonite away from the Joker. And so, I mean, there's multiple reasons why any of these people could make it onto the next round. However, I think it's going to be those 3.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to agree.
The fact that Cobra Commander beat Doctor Doom, which I know Doctor Doom is a pretty popular character in his own right. It makes me wonder if he's going to be that. Every kind of contest of this nature always has that person who keeps moving forward when they probably should have been kicked out the first round. I feel like that might be Cobra Commander when it comes to this tournament. Yeah. I mean, I think the right thing would be probably a Phoenix Cell head-to-head final matchup, but my guess is we're probably not going to get that. But we'll see. I mean, people could surprise us.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see, as far as the team battle versus, I would love to see Power against Robot, but that's just personal bias because I'm a fan of Beast Wars and of Dragon Ball Z. I don't see the Joker really stacking up against Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix. Maybe the Mandarin, but that would be as far as I would push it in that triumvirate over there. But I don't see Inque or Cobra Commander going on beyond this round. And if they did make it to the semifinals, I don't know what that would do to the lineup, but it would be so unpredictable at that point. So is this how we think that the lineup's going to go from this point on?
I think so. I think when you're getting down to the groupings, you're going to get a little bit. It's less about like who can beat who and more like I like that character. So, or maybe that's not right. Maybe if it's not just simply person against person, people might look at it a little bit differently. So the fact that I think that could add a little bit of a different element compared to the previous round. So.
Yeah, and you may just, who knows, there could be a whole bunch of listeners that are super fans of one person, and they're going to vote them in no matter what.
Yeah, I could definitely see that coming into play in the voting for the next round, just because, and all the way through to the finale, just because people have their preferences, which a lot of these characters were pretty solid or were known or at least iconic in some way in the 90s, even if they were less known. They were from a lot of the 90s programming. It's just been kind of surprising to see which ones got kicked out early of some of that first round. Some of them not so surprising, but especially with round 2, the ones that out of some of them that made it through were a little bit surprising on the one side of the bracket. So yeah, I definitely think that we're going to end up with a power battle by the end of it of popularity, and possibly some of it being the brawn of them, but and their power. But I think it's going to be a lot of the popularity by the end.
I mean, I think we do have someone like Inque who has gotten this far, and you'd think like. Like she's one that actually, I know there's a lot of Batman Beyond fans, so there actually may be a lot more fans to that character than we realize. I mean, she did beat Koopa, which is not the biggest thing in the world, but there's a lot of Mario fans. He's probably one of the most popular cartoon villains characters in video games. So she may be a wild card to kind of keep in mind that she may end up going a lot farther than we think.
So I think we'll call that a night on the recording. You guys be sure to voice your opinion in the comments and in the voting booth, and let us know who's going on to the next round. There will be 2 polls in there for the semifinals, so we can knock them out in one round, and then we'll come back for the surprise team battles and figure out how we think that's going to come out to play. So. I have been Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me this time have been Movie Revolt Dan and Alex. And how can the folks get a hold of you on the social medias?
I am on Twitter at Movie Revolt.
I'm on Twitter at Gravy Moose.
And I'm at SCP-21. So until next time, unleash the geek in you.
Yes.